5K, happy Friday. This is your last video for the week. I have your read aloud for today and then art. And it's a really fun repeat after me, follow me art project. So it's adorable. I'm excited to show you that. But first, we get to read a book called The Lonely Scarecrow. Look at them. They look happy or sad. He looks kind of scared. He looks kind of sad, doesn't he? And we're gonna find out why today. Why does he look like that? Let's see. The person that wrote this book, his name is Tim Preston, and the person that drew the pictures is Maggie Kneen. So here we go. The Lonely Scarecrow. In the middle of a field, under a sky of under a sky the color of cornflowers, stood a scarecrow. He had a scary face, but a kindly heart. More than anything, he wished that the animals and birds would be his friends. Look, you can see the birds up in the distance, but they don't want to be his friend. Aw. But the creatures of the field were afraid of the scarecrow's flapping coat and his big black hat. They were afraid of his beady eyes and his crooked nose and his jagged metal mouth. Oh, they were afraid of him because they thought he looked scary. In the spring, the scarecrow watched the animals play at the edge of the field. He watched the birds as they made their nests. Here's a little cute little bird making his nest. He's got a worm in his mouth. He watched the carefree tumblings of foxes and rabbits. He listened to the noisy ducklings in the old pond. And time all the time, the animals watched the scary scarecrow, but they never came near. And all the cute little animals playing in the grass, but they don't want to go by the scarecrow because they think he looks scary and mean. Each day, the swaying wheat field grew taller. The scarecrow lost sight of the animals. He lost even the happy song of the lark, drowned out by the whispering of the wheat. Marooned in his golden sea, the scarecrow lost hope of ever making friends. So the wheat growing taller and taller. Look at his waist. You could see how he has his arms showing. My goodness. Then the combine monster came. A combine is kind of like a tractor that farmers use to harvest the wheat in a field. So that's this big machine over here called a combine. Then the combine monster came to harvest wheat. The animals hid from churning jaws in the ravaged acres of mud and stubble that it left behind. They also hid from the scarecrow, who stood alone in the now empty field. Look at him over there. The combine is coming by and harvesting all the wheat. So all the animals ran away, and the scarecrow's all by himself. From the north came a sly breeze, all the leaves from the trees. All the leaves are falling down, and delight from the days. The animals hurried back to their homes in their warm burrows and cozy nests. And the scarecrow felt even lonelier, for he knew that winter was coming. He looked lonely. All the animals are going to their homes. Snow fell heavily one night and kept on falling. It fell on the bare, still woods and on the silent fields. Slowly it covered the ground where the scarecrow stood. He's getting snow on him, you see? Oh, the winter is coming. In the morning, the animals woke to a world that had changed. A thick blanket of snow covered the frozen earth. The scarecrow seemed to have vanished too. In his place stood a jolly snowman. Look, there he is. And all the rabbits are looking at him. He looks happy now, doesn't he? The creatures played happily in the field, rolling and tumbling in the snow around the scarecrow. And the scarecrow, well, he was as cheerful and as bright as the sunny winter day. So now that he was covered in snow, they didn't look so scary. So now all the animals played with him. Now he's happy. Although he was happy, the scarecrow was afraid of what would happen if he lost his snowy coat. He was afraid that the animals would shrink from his twisted shape. Most of all, he was afraid he would be alone again, and then the snow would begin to fall. Look at all the footprints around him. But he knows that the snow is going to melt soon, and then he's going to look scary again. The snow slipped off his shoulders and dripped off his hat. From the last patches of the snow, when the last patches of snow fell from his face, the animals woke up and looked up in wonder. Could the friendly snowman be the same scary creature they had feared for so long? As the warmth of the spring stirred the brown earth, the scarecrow felt a bird peck at his hat and a mouse nestle in the folds of his coat, and the scarecrow knew that he would never be lonely again. So the animals realized that he really isn't scary and that he wants to have a friend too. And that is the end. That's a cute, nice story, right? The winter came and then he didn't look scary and then he had friends at the end. So I am now going to show you your really, really fun scarecrow art project for today. All right, boys and girls, here is what you will need for our fun scarecrow art project for this week. This week, you on your packet, you had this piece of paper clipped with this little slip of paper at the end, and this is what you'll need to draw our scarecrow for today. This is what it's going to look like at the end. We get to draw this together. I'm going to go step by step with you, and you are going to draw it line by line right with me. So it'll be kind of like a follow the directions type of project. I'll draw a line, you'll draw a line, and if you ever get stuck at any point in the video today, you can just pause it and erase and then try it again. No big deal. So you can, if you have to pause me to go find your paper, you can. You can take that slip off. This will be for at the end. It says, I scare away blank. And you can think about as you're drawing if you want, what your scarecrow is going to scare away. Because as we learned this week, scarecrows are made to scare away birds or animals or whatever away from the crop from the good food in the field, right? That's what scarecrows are for. So this is your piece of paper that you're going to draw on. You will use a pencil so that you can erase if you have to, but I'm going to draw mine. Excuse me. I'm going to draw mine up here on this big sheet of paper with a marker so that you can see. So, boys and girls, when you are ready, the first step you're going to do is take this top part. You'll notice that I have lines on the paper. That's to help me divide the paper and show you where to draw. So for the first line you're going to make, it's going to be a squiggly line at the top section right in the middle. It will look just like that, like a big M at the top. This is going to be the top of the hat. So you can go ahead and do that. And if I ever am going too fast for you, you can always just hit pause and then do it again. The next part is going to be two lines that go from the end of that squiggly line of the hat down to this dotted line. That'll be our separation from the hat and the rest of the body. This is the part that we're doing right now. So you can make a slanted line from there down to the dotted line, and again on the other side, just like that. And that is the top of his hat. When you are done with that, you're going to trace along this dotted line to finish the hat right there. Just like that. And now we're going to do the decorations on the hat. you'll notice on mine, there's a little ribbon and a little patch. That's what we'll do next. So for the ribbon that goes across, we're gonna do just 2 lines straight across in the middle here. Just like that. And then after, when we're all done drawing, you can color the ribbon whatever color you want. You can color the whole thing however you want. You can do it like mine, or you can make it your own and do fun colors. I'm excited to see how you color yours. So after you do the ribbon, you can make a square anywhere on the top if you want to have his little patch like it's an old hat. So you can do a square. Remember, the square has the 4 sides, and if you want to make it look like it was sewn on, kind of like rustic looking, you can put little patches on it, little sewing marks, little marks like that to make it look like it was sewn on and patched on. So we have his hat done. After we do his hat, we're gonna move on to his head, this section here, and that'll be from this line to this line. So let's do his head first. You're gonna do 2 slanted lines from this line to this line, and you'll go a little bit in so that it looks like his hat is coming off his head a little bit. So you can go about right here and slant down to the bottom line there to make his head, that one side of his head, and the same thing on the other side. All right, and now you have his head here. The next part, we're going to make his eyes. And so on one side of the dotted line, you're going to have an oval for the one eye, and the same thing on the other side. Here we go. And then you're going to put X's in there because they're like buttons usually on a scarecrow. So you can X out those buttons. And then if you want to give him little eyelashes underneath like that, you can do that too. Give him 3 little eyelashes, or 4, however many you want. Now we're going to make his nose. And his nose, do you know what shape his nose is? It's a triangle. So the middle of the triangle is going to be this dotted line in the middle. So start at the middle and slant down for the first line of the triangle, and then you'll match it just on the other side like that. Just on the other side like that, and then you'll do the bottom to complete that triangle. And then you can do an X on it to make that sewn on too. And now we have his nose. What we'll do next is his cheeks and his little mouth, his little squiggly mouth. It'll be fun to make. So for his cheeks, we'll do those first. We'll make circles on each side, kind of towards the bottom down here. Those will be his cheeks. And now for the mouth, you can make it a squiggly line like that, like scarecrows sometimes have. You can just go up and down like that. There we go. And now you can also make X's on his cheeks too. Like those are buttons too. Now we're almost done with his head section. We just need to do the straw at the top because it's like coming out of his hat like it's his hair. So you can make 2 little rectangles on each side to make it look like he has straw coming out for his hair. Just like that. And now we have those 2 sections done. And let's move on to his body down here for his clothes. So what we'll do first is you're going to trace along the bottom of his head on that dotted line to make his head finished. And now we're going to make his arms, his little arms right here. So what you can do is do a line, leave room for his little hands, his little straw hands at the end. So make it about right here, and then trace along to the other side and just leave a little room for his hands over there too. This will be the top of his hands. to make his arms complete, you can make a little line coming down from the line that you just drew, like that, and then just make the bottom of that, and that'll be his arms. Here we go. Now to finish his body, we're gonna make 2 lines coming down to make his little overalls here. So you can make that about a little bit in from his arms a little bit, and then just do straight down to the bottom. Just like that. Now we're gonna do the details in his body, right? We have some straw hands on each side. So just like you drew the straw at the top, you can give him little straw fingers. Just like that. And now he has little hands. Now we're going to do his overalls, because a lot of times scarecrows wear overalls like farmers do. And so you can do 2 lines for his overalls on each side on his arms. And now we can do his pockets. His pockets, to make pockets, you can do a U, the letter U with a little lid on it. I'll show you. You can make his pockets down here. You can do a U, the letter U shape, and then just put a lid on it like that. And that's his one pocket. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Here we go. And then I'm just gonna put buttons for his suspenders on his overalls. So you can do circles up below there. And you can so you can X out those two like they're buttons. And then the last thing you can do if you want is put little patches on his arms to make it look like he was sewed together or sewed on. So sometimes you can put little squares on his arms and then put little stitches on them like that. And that's how you would draw your entire scarecrow. You're done drawing it. And you can color it, like I said, however you would like. You can do it the same colors as mine, or you can make yours look different. That's okay. When you're done, you can grab your little slip of paper like this. This is the fun part. It says, I scare away blank. And you can make your scarecrow scare away whatever you want. And I want to see how you spell and write this word. Parents, you can let them spell it however you want or however they want, because it's good for them to try out spelling a word on their own and letting themselves be inventive in their spelling so that they can learn to spell and sound out words on themselves. And that's okay if it's wrong. It's just to practice hearing a word and trying to write it and spell it themselves. So whatever they write, it's okay. So I scare away, I'm gonna make mine scare away birds. So I'm gonna write BIRDS. And I just wrote it on that line like that. And you don't have to do birds, you can have it scare away whatever you want. You can be creative. So boys and girls, when you're done with this, you can take a picture of your drawn scarecrow and colored, and the picture or your little slip of paper with what it scares away. I would love to see that when you are finished. So thank you very, very much, boys and girls and parents, for your help. I hope you enjoyed this fun, adorable scarecrow project, and I hope you have a really, really great weekend, okay? Bye.